just start off with nothing. Just go out and do it. See if you like it.
Try the outdoors, but don't go all out and say, "Oh no, we got to go bring some spears and stuff and try to hunt." If you don't like it, you're not gonna like it, and it's gonna be difficult for you, especially learning how to defend yourself. Don't worry about making it perfect. Just go ahead and do it. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Muslim Athlete Podcast. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing hobbies that you could take on for Muslim men. We'll have potentially, inshallah, in the future, one for Muslim women, what they could do and stuff like that. But this episode is more dedicated to Muslim men, hobbies that they could take on if they have some free time. Beneficial stuff. This is beneficial stuff. Okay, let's get started. I'm your host, Abu Saif, co-host, Haroon. Let's get it.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. What's up, dude?
It's going good.
How's your day?
Wallah, alhamdulillah. It's going good.
Yeah, since we did the last episode, man, and we had to do a little bit of tinkering with the lighting and stuff like that. But inshallah, we're getting there too, right?
Yeah, inshallah.
What do you think?
Inshallah. I mean, lighting, I think is something where we could definitely improve.
Yeah.
I think sound quality is good. People can give feedback on that, but I believe sound quality is good.
Guys, for sure, give us some feedback. What do you guys think? What can we improve on? And before we start the show, I would like to say like, subscribe, share, whatever it is. We're on all the podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast, whatever it is. Yeah. Okay, we're all on there. YouTube, video, for sure. Let's get to it. Hobbies.
Yeah. Let's get started.
You want to kick it off? What do you want to do?
Sure. I mean, specifically, I think we're going to be talking about how to start, what you need to start, the costs to starting a hobby, to one of these hobbies, and where you can go do it.
Yeah, that's important.
We're going to be focusing on those things.
Yeah.
Let's start off with some of the outdoorsy stuff. Let's say you have a lot of nature around you. You can take up hiking. And there's...
Ooh, hiking is a good one.
Yeah, so in terms of how to start, get a lay of the land. I use All Trails. It's an app on the Play Store, and it gives you all the hiking trails around you. If you have a lot of mountainous areas, you can go, quote unquote, off trail, meaning you just start somewhere and you just go.
What about boots?
So I think there's hiking specific stuff.
Yeah.
And they're kind of expensive. So this is one of the things you'd need to start. If you're going to do it for a while, I wouldn't recommend sticking with your regular old sneakers. You could start off with your sneakers. Yeah. And then you would want to invest in some type of hiking boots.
Is there like a difference between like all terrain? Like, for example, if you're hiking in the mountains or you're hiking on, well, hiking would be more mountainous, right? More like hills and stuff like that. Because I don't think walking on the trail or running on the trail, like a paved trail, is considered hiking. Would that be considered hiking?
I think that's just exercise. Yeah.
Got you.
To be fair, I mean, hiking to me is any time you're not on a paved surface in nature.
So like rivers and stuff like that, and just they could have paths.
They can have paths. They can have a path already laid out. As long as you're in nature, this is what hiking is to me.
I would assume it's better for them to have a path.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get lost.
You don't want to get lost. Exactly. Yeah. And especially if you're starting out, you don't want to get lost. So look up trails around you.
What app did you say that people could actually look for?
All Trails is the one they use, and then they have a subscription, but I don't use their subscription.
We're not sponsored by anything right now. We're not sponsored by any of these apps or websites or anything. So we'll leave links in the descriptions so you guys could actually go to the App Store, whether you're on iPhone or Android. We'll leave links for both, and you guys could download these apps. Okay.
Yeah.
And check them out.
Potentially, you could do this anywhere as well. Hiking, right? Every place I've been to, I've seen some hiking opportunities. Every place I can think of.
Yeah, I've hiked a few trails, and it's pretty intense. Mm-hmm. It's workout intensive. You get good exercise, but not only that. I mean, you're actually seeing nature, and you're smelling the trees. And depending what state you are, you'll have different trees, and the different smells of different animals and stuff. And there's a lot of beautiful trails, really, really nice, and really just just makes you ponder over the creation of Allah Azza wa Jal.
SubhanAllah. Would you consider this as something that has a lesser cost of entry?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, 100%. I mean,
Starting off, you don't need
yeah.
anything.
So let's think about it. All right, if you mentioned an app,
Mhm.
okay, you might have the subscription for that app. Now, there's a lot of them that are free, but if you're actually getting into it and they have features that you would actually like to dig into, you might pay for a subscription. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Let's think about shoes, apparel,
Yeah.
shoes. You got maybe your pants, hiking pants, whatever.
You need some safety stuff as well,
Like
just in
what?
case.
Yeah.
You'll need some type of first aid. Maybe you'd want to invest, but this is all later. Just start off with nothing. Just go out and do it. See if you like it.
See if you like it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Take
yeah.
your kids if you have kids. Take your kids.
Exactly. This is
Easy
something you
trail.
could do with your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is good.
And these hiking places, especially if you guys, if people live in near the mountains, they always have like signs for how hard is it for on a trail,
Mhm.
like beginner, advanced, and so forth, and how long it would take you to actually complete a whole loop. So that's very beneficial. I know in the States we do that a lot, right? They have the information about certain trails and the incline and the altitude when you reach the peak
Yeah.
of that trail. So that's really beneficial. I'm not sure how it is in parts of Europe or in Australia or any part of the Muslim world,
Yeah.
right? But here, that's how it is.
Yeah. Pay attention to the elevation. So when you're going, trail difficulty and elevation gain or loss.
Yeah.
And if there's a statistic that says like net elevation, it could be misleading because maybe you're gonna go up, 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 and then you're gonna go down, 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 and that net elevation is zero because you went up and you went
Yeah.
back down.
Yeah.
Just the elevate gain, I think, or loss.
What
could
are
tell you a lot.
I seen people when they're hiking, they have those like sticks. I'm not. I know there's a term for them.
Yeah.
But I'm not too into the activity where I have to go buy those sticks where it helps me hike, and it's not.
Yeah.
That's probably a major cost factor also if you actually decide going that route. But I don't think anybody would end up going that route unless they're really into it.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think it also helps for older people as well. So this is
Yeah.
something you can do if you're older. You might need some support in with those sticks or just better shoes.
Yeah.
In which case your cost for this hobby would increase. Those walking sticks I think are pretty expensive. Probably hundreds of dollars, I believe.
Yeah, potentially. What else? For you said you mentioned first aid kits. What can you include in a first aid kit?
Oh, you need some things like neosporin,
Mhm.
alcohol, just anything to treat a wound. A sprain, you need something to wrap your leg with, especially hiking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places you can trip, sprain your leg,
Yeah.
scratch up your knee or whatever.
Yeah. You need some maybe self defense material just in case, like a knife or something, pepper spray, bear spray, depending where you are.
Yeah,
Right.
knife, bear spray, and keep in mind again, this is all stuff you can get later.
Yeah.
You can start off with nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Start off with easy trails, but if you're gonna go into like super hard trails, okay, mountainous trails, invest in a good water container. You have to stay hydrated,
Hmm.
especially in the heat. If it's super hot and you're sweating bullets, there's those little backpacks that actually come with like a little hose that you could drink from.
Oh, they do? I've never
Yeah,
seen
you've
that.
never seen those? Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
pretty
it's pretty
cool.
awesome.
How much is a good container cost?
Oh, come on. It's hiking. These companies with these specialized sports and stuff, they'll really overcharge. So maybe something like that, maybe 120, 150, maybe up to 200, maybe potentially. I know you could find some cheaper options out there,
Mhm.
and depending on how you want to do it. Don't
Yeah.
go used.
Yeah.
Don't go on
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace and try to find a backpack, a water backpack.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely invest in some of that if you're actually serious about it.
And you can get those online, any outdoors shop. In the States specifically, you have Dick's, REI, and Decathlon, which I think is also overseas as well. Decathlon.
Really, I haven't heard of Decathlon.
Oh,
You
they're
got
cheap.
Academy Sports,
Yeah, Academy
Sportsman
stores, yeah.
Warehouse here in the States,
Yeah, any outdoors shops, you can get all this stuff
or
at.
online. I mean, if you're actually comfortable with shopping online and stuff,
Mhm.
and you don't have to actually physically see the product, especially with shoes, a good hiking boots, you already know about a name. okay, and you just want to buy online, just buy online. You probably find it cheaper.
Yeah. Along the same vein, if you want to get into something more specific, let's go into mountain biking.
Yeah.
Now, investment cost for this is a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot.
Bikes are expensive,
Yeah. Yeah. But
but it's fun.
It's
You know
fun.
who
Yeah.
you know who mountain bikes? I know a lot of people mountain bike. Have you heard of Abdul Rahim Green?
No,
You never heard of him?
never heard of him.
Well, he's the one who started iEra, okay, a while ago. Dawah guy.
I era? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, you gotta look up iEra. Well, look up, guys. Look up
Well,
iEra.
They might not
Yeah.
know what it is either.
I think most people know what it is.
Well, then I'm out of the loop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyways, he does mountain biking a lot, and it's actually pretty fun. It looks like it's pretty fun. I haven't really done it. I've owned mountain bikes, okay, but I haven't really went mountain biking, okay. But we know mountain bikes are expensive.
Yeah.
All right, we got bikes such as Trek. Okay, that's a super expensive bike. I remember the old style was like a GT. Maybe it was the same as a Trek bikes. Okay, I don't know if they're into the mountain biking, but I know those are extremely expensive
What's the
in
range?
the grands.
Oh, in the couple thousands.
Yeah, a couple thousands.
Man,
Yeah,
US
for those
dollars.
bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, US dollars. But in terms of mountain biking, I don't know much about the topic to say, oh, you need this. You have to get this. If you go on the lower end, if you go to your local Walmart and try to get a mountain bike from there, yeah, they might call it a mountain bike, but it's not really a mountain bike, and it has all the gears. But I would suggest this is what, let's say in my shoes, if I wanted to get started into mountain biking, okay, I wouldn't go with the cheapest option. Okay, I'd go for maybe a middle option. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe 150, 200 just to get a bike, just get a feel of it. And hey, you have a bike. If you're ready and don't have a bike, if you end up not liking the sport, you already have a bike. Everybody needs a bike, bicycle.
So there's
Right.
some real cost to start up this hobby.
Yeah.
And I guess I do see them being sold a lot. So they do hold their sale value. Say you get a mountain bike, you try it. It's not for you or you don't do it that often. You can sell your bike, recoup some of that cost. Also, make sure you have some mountain biking friendly trails near you. Not necessarily, we say mountain biking because that's the name of the sport, but they can just be regular trails. You don't have to have a mountain near you. I think all trails, the app I recommended earlier, will also have an icon if they have mountain biking specific trails or if it's mountain biking friendly.
Okay, and with all these sports, hiking, mountain biking, and we'll discuss the other ones too. They open up things to other aspects from that same field, such as hiking, mountain biking, and when you think about those mountainous terrains, you also think about camping.
Camping.
Right?
Yeah.
Camping. What do you think?
Man, this is something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah,
A lot of people want to do.
I've done that one time when I was younger.
Yeah.
Oh, it was super fun. It was for like a school trip, but man, it was incredibly fun.
Did you guys need any equipment?
It was just like an overnight thing.
Yeah, just overnight. Just
Yeah.
sleep on the leaves.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but it was super fun.
What did they do to you at school? What do
Nah.
you mean? They just sleep on the dirt, the tree?
But you bring your sleeping bag and stuff, and you just sleep.
Yeah.
But it was super fun. I mean, camping is a big one. Okay, I think camping is a big one, especially if somebody wants to get into a hobby. You do have a lot of costs,
Yeah.
and in terms of where to do it, the options are endless.
Yeah, as
Of
long
where
as
to
you
camp.
have some, you don't need a campground. A lot of people limit themselves. Oh, the nearest campground is 20, 30 miles away from me.
Yeah.
If you know your area well, you might know a few places where you can just set up camp.
Yeah. Can you touch on some benefits about actually camping for Muslims, naturally? And I'll touch on some also.
Self-sufficiency is the biggest one for me. You need to be able to survive other than in a house
Yeah.
or a bedroom. For me, those are the only two places I can survive in. I need to be in a house or a bedroom. Otherwise, I don't know what I do
Without your phone.
without my phone, without the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is, self-sufficiency is important to be able to do it. And you don't have to know everything right away. You can learn it as you move along, as you learn about the different tents and the different equipment to get and to bring with you. And you might start off, and this might add to the startup cost, where you feel like you need something, but you actually find out you don't really need that.
So other
Yeah,
levels of tents.
I would assume so. I'm not much of an expert in it, but I would assume there has to be levels. There has to be levels. I mean, a few $100, you potentially 100 to 200 your entry level tents.
Yeah, I've seen a few that are for that price. I'm not sure how good they are. And they might leave you with a miserable experience.
Potentially,
Yeah.
potentially, but I know there's some really expensive ones, and depending on how serious you are with it. But and when we say camping, and we're talking about camping,
Hmm.
right? We're specifically talking about camping where you're actually going there. But I would say, if you're gonna go camping, yeah, try the outdoors. Try the outdoors.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Try the outdoors, but don't go all out and say, "Oh no, we got to go bring some spears and stuff and try to hunt." Yeah, that's not the reality. That's not the reality. Bring some meat,
Hmm.
season it at home. All right, put it in your ice box, whatever you got. Okay, put it in your ice box. Bring it with you. Bring it. Bring your water. Bring your soda. Bring everything that you need. This is what I would suggest. Try to actually light a fire. Go on YouTube, try and see if you could actually do it. But bring lighter, bring matches. If you need lighter fluid, bring it. Charcoal, bring it just in case you can,
Yeah.
because you're not gonna go hungry overnight, especially if you're planning to do a weekend.
Yeah.
And if you're able to get a fire started and actually be able to cook a meal, hey, awesome! You just learned something, right?
Hmm.
But if not, yeah, and you go with your kids, whoever you go with, yeah, you guys are not gonna go hungry, right? So bring meat and just have it ready,
So
especially if it's the first time.
yeah, so this is, I guess that works into another hobby
Yeah.
that you can experience, look into, is just survival in general. Learning how to fashion a knife,
Yeah.
learning some of these things, and these are good hobbies because they'll keep you occupied forever. This is not something I think you'd get bored of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of survival, and when people think about survival, they think about these survival shows and these survival movies. But if we think about it, people have been surviving for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Okay. I mean, when some of the Sahaba used to go from Mecca to El Sham in terms of trade and stuff, yeah, they don't got a one-way ticket
Hmm.
or flying coach. Okay, they do not have that. They're walking with their camels or whatever that they have all the way from there to there.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is months and months long journeys. So they're surviving. So it's not something that is serious. And hey, people used to survive, and we have to actually relearn those traits. Fashioning knives, knowing actually what to bring, how much water to bring, knowing what kind of food to bring, salting the food so as actually could be, you could preserve it, and knowing how to preserve it. If it needs to be, knowing how to fish.
Yeah.
All right, that's another hobby. That's a great hobby that a lot of people do. Is fishing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, have you ever
Oh,
fished?
I've fished. Yeah, I've fished a few, caught a few.
Uh,
Okay, but yeah, I don't have a lot of luck because I was actually trying to learn how to do it.
yeah.
Okay, and I was using a lot of different bait. And one thing that I did not want to do, I didn't want to use live bait. It didn't sit right with me. Using live bait,
Like the worms, or what do you
the
mean?
live, anything that's live, crickets or anything.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just didn't really sit right for with me. I don't know what the hokum is on that, so I can't really comment much on it. But for me myself, I'd use artificial bait. They call them rigs,
Yeah.
right? Little rigs and the flappy rigs and the squirming worms, and to actually try to mimic real prey for certain fish that I was trying to catch.
So, what are the things you'd need to get started into fishing?
Well, yeah, you got your fishing poles, okay? You got your fishing pole. Let's say you're by yourself. If you got your kids, if whoever it is, then yeah, you got to buy more fishing poles. Okay, entry levels. if you got like a pawn shop or something, just go to the pawn shop,
Hmm.
get a fishing pole. Don't go new, especially if you're barely getting started,
Yeah.
unless you know you want to do it for a long time. That's different.
Yeah. I
You
think
know?
anything will work. I think probably any fishing pole can catch a pretty good fish.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
and the fish are biting that day, yeah, 100%. Yeah, fishing pole. You got your bait. Yeah, naturally you need your bait. You need your tackle box where you store all your equipment and stuff. Because sometimes you need to vary what you're doing, your bobbers and stuff like that. You know.
Would you recommend getting like a kit? Because there's a lot of aspects to it. Like, for instance, one thing we didn't mention is a bobber.
Yeah.
Maybe weights, different types of weights.
Well, if I mean, there's beginner friendly kits
Okay.
in terms of fishing. You know, get I would say get your pole separately. Then go on Amazon and look for beginner fishing kit or fishing kit. And it'll come with everything. Okay? And what you should do is actually research where you're going to be fishing. Okay? So wherever that you live in whatever city, see where your public ponds are or lakes or anything of that sort. Okay, and see what fish are there. For example, catfish like to burrow down inside the mud, so get bait that's actually typical for catfish or bass.
Mhm.
Get bait that bass would be interested in. So that's in terms of bait. So when you get a kit, it might come with some bait. It'll come with the hooks and all that stuff. But the bait, get it specialized. And that's what I would recommend in terms of fishing.
So this does require some research. You can't just go. Well, you can go in blind, but you might not get any results.
Yeah, see, the problem is with these activities going in blind is at times you'll end up spending more money if you ended up doing your research and actually researching and knowing what to get and knowing how to do it. You'll save money and save time. I'll give you an example. Okay, learn how to tie a knot. Learn how to tie a fishing knot. Because if you think if you're just gonna tie it, yeah, it depends. The fish might be able to see that knot and then say, yeah, this looks weird, right? The fish itself. So learn how to tie fishing knots. It'll save you on a string, a fishing line, and it'll save you on time.
Yeah.
That's just for example, and I think that's important for any sport, really,
Yeah.
any hobby.
Do you think Muslims should value more highly those hobbies that encourage self-sufficiency or hunting or resource gathering?
I don't know if it's is actually make it more important. Those it depends on what you like. I think
Yeah.
because we're in a stage. Back in the day, yeah, you need to have these survival traits, whether you like it or not. Okay, but now we're in a stage where you don't really need to have that. A time of human history where you don't need to have that too much. So in our time, I would advise look at what you're interested in, look at what you like, and go for it. You know, when you're talking about survival traits and self sufficiency, a good one is homesteading.
Homesteading.
Yeah.
Well, what is homesteading specifically?
So homesteading is where you're living off grid and you're self sustaining. That's a hobby, really.
And
You could
what aspects are you self-sustaining? Everything?
pretty much everything. You could start off slow. So you got your first and main part is your food. Where are you getting your food from?
Mhm.
Okay. Try to be self-sufficient with your food, with your vegetables and with your meat. Sometimes you won't be able to buy a farm and actually grow your own meat, right? Yeah, you won't be able to do that, which is fine. If you have some property, okay, but you don't have enough room for animals, see what you could do on the vegetable side.
Mhm.
Learn the aspects, learn the soil and how that relates to homesteading, okay?
Yeah.
And how to be able to actually really grow stuff and learn the seasons and the different seasons.
Yeah. So I assumed with homesteading
Yeah.
you'd need some type of farm. So that's what I think of when I think of homesteading. I was like, oh, you gotta have a farm.
Well,
Um,
homesteading is not just about the farm. It's also about it's not just about the farm or the food or of what you're putting into your body. It's also being self-sufficient in terms of what you need, such as electricity.
mhm.
Learn how solar works, solar power works. Okay, get a solar panel. So that's part of it too. If you have some property, dig a well.
Yeah.
Learn where that water, find out where that water. Even if you have to invest some money in somebody doing a survey and actually identifying where there could be some pockets of water for well, yeah, go ahead and invest that money. So you know, hey, this is where I need to actually insert my water pump in for my well.
So the level investment is
It's
it,
pretty
so,
significant.
it sounds like it's how serious you take it. So say the smallest level investment would just be to get a garden bed.
Yeah, starting out.
Yeah, just starting out, just get a garden bed. If you make it from wood, that's cheaper.
Yeah.
Just grab some wood from Lowe's, and it's very easy because you just put nails and it's a little box. Probably the easiest thing to make, with wood, or just buy one.
So let's recap some of the hobbies that we spoke about, right? Because I don't want to lose the thought, okay? Because there's another hobby that I want to mention too, since we're talking about homesteading and building and stuff. So we talked about hiking,
Yes,
mountain biking, camping, fishing, and then homesteading.
and then homesteading.
And then part of homesteading is actually building stuff.
Okay.
Sweet. All right, another hobby which is important, which is good, and I would recommend try to like it. I don't like it too much, but I actually try it. I actually try to learn it and stuff like that, and it's not really for me, but it's huge in the entire world. Construction,
Construction,
building.
like what specific, like houses?
Yeah, building houses.
Mhm.
Or actually learning how to build a wall.
Mhm.
Learning how to build a wall. I mean, you have a house, you want to add an extra room. Okay, learn how to build a wall.
Yeah,
Go for it.
yeah. It sounds like it'd be supremely useful. But it sounds also like you need a certain level of space.
No, not just. I mean, space. Yeah, I mean, you need space. Not space. You don't need space. You need projects. You need to know what you're gonna do in that certain project. Okay, for example, the wall thing. How much wood you need, and not just the space, and knowing how to cut the wood with the right equipment. Because I used to do a little bit of construction,
Mhm.
and I used to do some electricity and all that stuff too, right? And what I found out is that sometimes you need to have the right tools and the right bits and all that stuff to be able to get a job done. So in terms of I mean, the possibilities are endless. For some people, construction, building stuff, building materials is a good hobby. They love doing it. They love building cabinets and work tables and work areas and work sections. They're not gonna go building. They might not go build a whole entire house, but they understand, how trusses are.
Yeah.
Trusses, how the roof system works, how the septic systems work, electricity systems work, and they're able to do it hands on. It's DIY projects. I mean, think about it. Part of construction is you might have, if you own property, you might have a rotting floor base or baseboards or joists on the bottom that you have to replace. Instead of hiring somebody to do it for $1,000, do it yourself,
Mhm.
right? So construction, hobby in construction for Muslims is important.
Yeah. Cost to start is just cost of materials.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cost of materials and then just
Oh, tools
time.
as well.
Oh yeah, I mean tools. Yeah, you need your saw, you need your saws, you need your drills, you need your all the stuff. You need your measuring tapes, you need pliers, whatever it is, hammers, anything that you're gonna be doing. Start small. Start small, getting the basic stuff. All right, and we don't need to mention any of the any of the basics. Okay, we will. I'll post an article. Okay, and we'll post it in the description of how you could get started and all the stuff that you could get and all the tools that you need to get started. Yeah, I'll post that in the description, inshallah, too.
Yeah. You talked about doing some of the wiring, doing electricity. I know that there are electronics that you can tinker with, and these are like your. I know
You're in my area now.
it's gonna sound like maybe not a lot of people know what these mean because there is a high learning curve tinkering with electronics, Raspberry Pis, motherboards, processors. These aren't things that just come in the phone. These are actually things you can modify, you can use, you
Oh,
can.
you're in my area
Yeah.
now. I'm not gonna lie, you are in my area now. And believe it or not, a few years ago, I did not like this. I didn't like the small electronics and the
Mhm.
hardware. I did not like this, but I'm actually starting to get into it. The
Mhm.
Arduinos and the
Oh yeah.
programming and with the different kind of stuff that you could do. I would okay. I'm also gonna post a description of where you could get started. There's websites that you could buy all of this stuff and tell it'll give you the Arduinos and it'll give you all of that stuff, the motors, the servos,
Yeah.
and how to get started. And you know what? YouTube, man. YouTube.
Yeah, this all sounds like gibberish to me because I haven't gotten into any of that. Is there a resource for starter projects you can do?
Yeah, we'll post something in the description.
Maybe like make a timer or
Well,
just
okay, I got something. All
to
right.
automate something.
Yeah. Well, here's something. Okay, I got something for you. All right. Here's a popular one that people first started in terms of building their own electronics. Okay, you take an Arduino, okay, and you modify it with a sensor. You run it with if you know some C plus plus, C, I believe it's C plus plus or Python code. Okay, and you actually program it when it hears a clap or a snap of a finger, it'll turn off a light. Okay, so if you know a little bit of electricity, you could actually use it to actually turn off a light.
That's
So
pretty cool.
that's one thing that's practical.
That's
You
pretty cool.
build your own. Believe it or not, build your own drones.
Mm.
You know, as long as you actually have the props set in the right place and with the right speeds and everything, you can make your own drone. Because drone, all it is just four props, four propellers. Okay, two turning clockwise, the other turning counterclockwise, with varying speeds to be able to control the yaw and the pitch and the roll on the axes and all that stuff. That's all it is. And you could do that using an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
It's an electronic device, okay? Not a device, a motherboard that you could attach different sensors to it and run it with computer code.
How big is this? Is it like a chip, a motherboard? How big is it?
Oh, it's nothing. It's like maybe this big. You could get them different sizes. It depends.
And how can you order that? How much do they cost?
Nothing. Like literally like super cheap.
Mhm.
Like 20, maybe $20, $40. But I mean, it could get expensive. It could start to get expensive because you're buying your Arduino board, okay? Maybe $20, $40. Then you have to get your different kind of sensors. And it depends on how serious of if you're building a certain thing, okay? Then you got to thinking about, oh, I need maybe something 3D printed to be able to fit my specifications because you're not going to be using popsicle sticks, okay?
Yeah.
So I can't give it like a price range because it could get pretty expensive based on what you're doing, on what you're building. That's a great hobby to learn actually because you could do so much with it.
Good with kids, with the family?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm serious. Yep. I mean, teach your kids how to solder if
Yeah.
you're into that stuff. Teach them how to solder. Hey, this is how you solder, and give them a simple Give them a car. Let them build a car. You know, all it needs is just axle and motors, and that's it. And actually servos for the wheels to turn. That's all. That's all you need.
Mhm. And
It's
so,
really not that hard. Of course, I'm oversimplifying it, but yeah.
no, it sounds
Yeah.
like with guidance, sounds like something anybody can do with guidance.
Well, you gotta like it. If you don't like it, you're not gonna like it,
Mhm.
and it's gonna be difficult for you. So you 100% you have to like it.
Okay. With some of these hobbies, I feel like there's a learning curve. So one of the ones we mentioned before, homesteading, construction, and now we're mentioning the small electronics. Is there a big learning curve? A learning curve is you work at it until you get some sort of success. Is there like level, a long period of effort before you get any sort of success?
Well, it depends on what you want to embark on.
Mhm.
It really depends on that. Previous, we talked about tinkering with electronics. Okay. Yeah, there's a huge learning curve for that, especially if you've never done it before. If you're a programmer, and you're a software engineer and whatever, it'll naturally be easier for you to actually get into it. And same thing, if you're not a programmer, you've never really programmed, but you've always loved DC electronics, then yeah, you'll have an easier learning curve. That's for example. And same thing with the construction guys. If your father, was his job was actually installing tiles, okay, and he had to do a lot of construction stuff and cutting, getting into construction and building your own stuff, framing and all that stuff will come easier for you. So it really depends what you like, but we're talking about people that have never embarked on these things before. For example, hiking, there's not much of a learning curve. You just go out and you just go hike.
Yeah, you just go out and you
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. One of the ones that we can talk about some more is another hobby, specifically in gardening, cultivating. This is a hobby more long term, like something you embark on long term. But you don't need a lot of space. You can grow her herbs on your windowsill, even if you don't have a balcony, a backyard, a porch. You can keep some herbs on your windowsill. Or if you had more space, then you can really get into the hobby.
It's not that hard to start, is it not?
Not really, not really. Some people will do a lot. Like they'll have an elaborate gardening setup. They'll set up irrigation, which is some sort of automatic water feeding process. But you don't need any of that to start. You just need a place to put some dirt and a place to put a seed.
Gotcha. What about the different pots and what about the greenhouses and those kind of materials?
Yeah, that's you'll need a lot. You'll need lots of space. Well, the pot specifically, you won't need. You, the cost of the pot.
Yeah, space. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, yeah. The greenhouse, of course, and those you can build yourself, but it's a process. Whereas if you just want to get started, get some seeds, find some dirt, whether you get a small little bed or you get a
And
pot.
and the different soils.
There are different soils as well, and there's different depths of there's different levels of complexity you can get into it. You can start measuring your pH, for instance, your pH of your soil.
Okay.
You can add different additives to your soil. You can start working with manure to have a healthier soil. You can study what crop rotations work the best. So specifically, if you're planting this thing and it gets cultivated, there's something specific you can plant next that will keep the soil healthy.
Yeah.
And this is getting deeper into it. So there is a deep depth of how far you can take gardening if you were to take it as a hobby, and you're being self-sufficient as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd love to grow my own tomatoes and try them.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
the beefsteak tomatoes, the big ones.
What are the different tomatoes?
Oh, there's so many different types of tomatoes. I don't know if they're a result of crossbreeding.
A lot of people do not like tomatoes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm okay with tomatoes.
Tomatoes are excellent.
I'm okay. There's some stuff I don't like cucumbers that much.
That's strange.
Okay.
That's strange. They're both 99% water.
Yeah, I don't know about the taste.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah.
Once you
yeah.
get into gardening and you realize all this different stuff that I'm growing is all like 99% water. It's all made of the same thing. How do they taste so different, smell so different, look so
SubhanAllah, that's
different?
incredible. Yeah.
SubhanAllah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
We could touch on one that's very good for Muslim men, a hobby, shooting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Talking about hobbies, now we're getting into hobbies.
Yeah, now this is a good one.
This is hobbies.
This is an expensive one.
Man, everything that we've mentioned so far, okay? Hiking, maybe not mountain biking, but camping, homesteading, construction, tinkering with electronics, okay? Muslim men, Muslim women. Both of them could do it.
Yeah.
So, hey, if there's any Muslim ladies listening to the show, guys, all the stuff we could mention, maybe not mountain biking, okay? Yeah, get into it. 100%. Get into it. Learn about it. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially like the homesteading and tinkering with electronics. There's a lot of girls who love electronics. Maybe not as many, but yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah, yeah. SubhanAllah, I mean, Allah gives us
wisdom and
the
everything.
wisdom and the mind and the ability and the body to be
Yeah.
able to interact with these, to
Yeah,
get
exactly.
into these. And to go with shooting, just basic cost to start, you need a firearm.
If before we get into that, discussing if somebody's like looking for a potential spouse or something like that. One question is like, hey, do you know how to garden? So she could grow tomatoes and stuff like that, and right,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you put on a nice juicy burger.
Oh, oh, you're gonna garden the cow, huh?
Yeah.
You're gonna plant them.
Let's get into it. Let's get into shooting.
Okay, okay. Shooting cost to start. You can go as very cheap. You can get something to start off very cheap, and you'll be able. You won't just use it for this hobby. You're gonna use it to protect yourself, to defend yourself.
Yeah.
I'd say to start with a pistol,
9 millimeter.
9 millimeter.
Yeah.
A 9 millimeter is the size of the bullet.
Yep.
So I think the smaller pistols will have a 22 long rifle bullet, and those don't
No,
go for those.
no, regular 22 is like the 22 LR is a 22 long rifle. It's for a rifle.
Oh, okay.
So you got your pistols. Yeah, you got your 22 caliber. You got your 9 millimeter. You got your 40 caliber, 45, and so forth. 10 millimeter, whatever it is, and then you have some of the same calibers for rifles, hunting rifles, and so forth.
So that LR just means long rifles
That
for
just-
rifles. So
yeah.
the pistol also you can also find them in a 22. That's just the
Exactly.
general size of the bullet, but you'll want to go 9 millimeter.
Yeah, especially if you're learning how to shoot,
Mhm.
and 9 mm is first of all is the way to go. Especially for hobbies and going out to the shooting ranges. It's an expensive hobby to get into because you don't want to rent. You don't want to go to a shooting range and rent all the time.
Yeah.
You want to get your own. And
That's
most
even
people,
more expensive to rent, right?
yeah,
Than just
over the
outright
long run.
firing. Yeah.
Yeah, over the long run, way a lot more expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I went to a gun store
Mm.
and I saw the cheapest 9 millimeter option I found was a Springfield Mod 3. And
Okay.
this is something that came out new, but
Yeah.
it cost $299.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is that? Expensive, cheap?
Cheap to me in terms of handguns.
Yeah.
Handgun.
Yeah.
The good ones range from like 400 all the way to 1,600.
Yeah.
So something for $299 that's from Springfield, which is a brand, and this is a good starter. And
Yeah.
it could even be converted into a concealed carry.
So like 300, 500, but concealed carry is only for the States though.
Mhm.
Parts of Europe and Australia, I'm not sure if they have they're able to actually
Can
own
they even
handguns.
shoot?
I don't know. I'm not sure if they have I know in Britain it might be specialized locations for this kind of stuff.
Mhm.
But guys, drop a comment for us. All our viewers from England, drop a comment for us and let us know what you guys got going on in terms of shooting over there. I mean, is there specialized locations that you got to go to? Are you allowed to own a gun? How does it work? Drop a comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to get in this hobby, you need to buy your firearm and you need to find a place to shoot. Those
Yeah,
are the
exactly.
only two things you need. And you need ammo, but wherever you bought your gun,
Yeah.
probably have ammo.
Yeah. Well, one thing that we need to mention was extremely important, especially when it comes to shooting and firearms, is safety is number one.
Mhm.
Don't estimate or underestimate safety. Always be safe with your firearms. Make sure you get if you need to get licensed, get licensed, do it legally and all that stuff. But remember, safety is number one. It's a deadly weapon. Make sure that you are able to you have to learn how to operate it. Take classes. Go and take classes. I would suggest for somebody that's maybe never shot before, but take a class. Take a class. Even if it costs you money, don't just go get one and think, oh, how to that's it. I know how to just pull the trigger and that's it. No. Learn how to safely use it. Okay. And one of the best ways to do that is to actually get a professional to teach you and go take a class. Look up an online class, go take it.
Is this the most dangerous hobby?
Yeah, 100%. Because a lot. Well, I mean, yeah, because a lot could go wrong.
Yeah, a lot can go wrong.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous not because the hobby is dangerous. It's
Yeah.
dangerous because of just user error.
Yeah, exactly.
User error. So
Exactly.
you have to be careful. You have to be astute. You have to, like he said, take a class, be very attentive.
Well, in terms of danger, okay, I got another hobby that Muslim men could do. Okay, martial arts, specifically Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Good hobby.
Yeah, this is an excellent hobby. Excellent hobby. Anything that lends to you, one, physical activity, two, being able to defend yourself. This is ideal hobbies. These are hobbies that I think are more valuable than other hobbies.
Yeah, they have a high value, especially learning how to defend yourselves and stuff. But also, it's fun, especially when at first you'll get dragged on the floor at first, especially in BJJ, and you'll get submitted all the time. And but as that you actually learn how to do it, okay, it's fun. It starts becoming fun. And once you are able to see that you're leveling up in terms of belts, which takes a while, especially in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, reason I mentioned BJJ, I know other parts of the world they have some different stuff. It's because it's very popular at the moment in the States, so that's why I'm mentioning it. And it's fun, and there's like a lot of potential, and there's in terms of price ranges, right? Let's talk about in that aspect how to start, what are the costs, where to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. First thing you need to do is find a place to do it. Find a gym, preferably BJJ, preferably something where you train jujitsu. Most of these places, they'll have a day where they do gi and no gi.
Okay.
And if you're going to do the gi classes with them, which you don't necessarily have to do, some of them will have options where you can just do the no gi classes and it'll be cheaper. Then you'll need to buy a gi. A gi runs you about $100.
Yeah.
And other than
What
that,
about the cost of the class?
yeah, the cost of the class varies a lot.
Yeah, it's like 150, 200. It really depends on the area, right?
Yeah, it really depends on the area. If you're more big city, you'll see that you'll have more options. So it's possible you can find a cheap option just because you're in a big city. And because it's a big city, rent is higher. So the class prices will also be higher.
Yeah, exactly.
But, this is not a commitment. So the only thing you'd lose out on is the cost of your gi.
Yeah.
Because you can't just return it. That's it. You have the gi. So
Yeah.
that's $100 spent. Yeah. But the cost of the class, you pay for a month, and then you decide it's
Go
not
for a
for
month.
you.
You could cancel it, yeah.
You just don't pay for the next month. You just,
Yeah.
don't go for the next month.
Well, you have to. There's a lot of gyms that require you to sign up for like a year. You have to be dedicated for a year. There's a lot of. If you're just starting out, see if you could convince them to actually just do it for a month, just to see how you feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even better if they allow you to pay for a month, even if they have a contract, that's good. All of these places that I know of will let you have a couple free classes. Just
Yeah.
ask, just ask them. Even if they don't advertise it, say, hey, I want to come in, try it out, and they'll give you a couple free classes. You'll be able to go in on the no gi days if they require gis on some days.
Yeah, for sure. BJJ is BJJ, just any kind of martial arts. It's a really good hobby. Just BJJ is really popular right now. Another one that I think we could touch on that's actually extremely beneficial for your mind, not just for your mind, but for your mind and your pocket. And I'll mention why for your mind. It's side hustles. Learn how to make money. Try to make money. First of all, is beneficial for your mind because even if you don't succeed, okay, yeah, you'll able to do it.
Yeah.
Right? You're able to have a clear mind, and actually you're always working your mind.
Okay.
And if you're able to succeed, good for your pocket.
Yeah. Some people, I guess, they'll have the time, but they won't necessarily have the financial stability to go into some of these hobbies. In which case, I guess you can take up a hobby that can generate some revenue. Well, what type of side hustles are we talking about?
Anything that makes you money, and it's halal. Washing cars on the weekends or something.
Washing cars, yeah.
Right? I mean, Uber.
Pressure washing.
Pressure washing.
Yeah, some of these, not all
Side
these
hustles.
side hustles have significant investments. Some of them you don't need to buy a whole lot of equipment. A pressure washer isn't that much, and that's really all you might need a ladder.
Also
That's
landscaping, right?
landscaping as well.
Yeah. I mean, let's just think about it. Let's take an expensive side hustle that you might be able to do and actually could lead to a full-fledged business.
Mhm.
Okay, landscaping. Get everything used. 1,000 for the lawnmower. This is in the States, of course, because this is where we have experience in. Land, the weed trimmers, the lawnmowers, the different, maybe the trailers to actually be able, an investment about 5K, 7K, that could be very lucrative. If you play your cards right, business cards, all you need really is just make sure you have the equipment, go pass out business cards.
Mhm.
And which is extremely important to actually build that business is be consistent with your customers. If you give your customers a time frame, make sure you complete that time frame, and you will have references based on that.
Yeah. I think the most popular side hustles is when you offer services. So you
Yeah.
have a specific skill, you can video edit it. You're able to tinker with electronics.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
able to do some web development. These are hobbies.
It's not your main job.
It's
It's
not your
yeah,
main job. This side hustle is like a hobby. And this is how you can occupy your time, stay productive, make some money, and hopefully enjoy it along the way.
yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah. You can also maybe try to do some business, some trade, some selling. It's so easy these days to create a website and sell
Yeah,
e-commerce.
yeah. Another one is still speaking about side hustles. Is hey, I mean, if you're a Muslim lady, you like to bake, post it in the group chats.
Yeah.
You like to cook, post in the group chats. I mean, how many Ramadan bazaars that we have? Ramadan's coming up, alhamdulillah. And hey, you do it. If your hobby is cooking and baking and whatever, do it. Don't worry about making it perfect. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. No startup cost at all, other than the
Yeah.
ingredients you need to bake. And the way you can do this is word of mouth, advertising on Instagram, just
Facebook, yeah.
all sorts of ways you can make this a side hustle.
Another thing, another hobby that's important, fun, gets everybody together, and just incredibly fun. And no matter what it is that you're doing, sports,
Sports.
ping pong, right? Soccer, cricket, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Find those teams.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, if you're an Arab, bro, there's gonna be Arabs playing soccer somewhere. If they're focused in a certain city, go find them.
Yeah, go find them.
Go find them. You could find them. Right? WhatsApp groups, Facebook. Go do a search on Facebook. Arabs playing soccer in whatever your city you're in. You're gonna find them. Same thing with all the other sports, right? Whatever it is, of whatever that it is that Pakistanis are playing, Afghanis are playing. Go find that. Simple search on Facebook is actually gonna pull it up if you know there's a lot of people doing it. Join those sports teams because in Islam we have to be social. Okay,
Yeah.
Islam we have to be social. We actually have to interact, and if you like soccer, go for it, man. Go for it, and do it with Muslims. There's a lot of Muslims who are doing these stuff. There's ping pong groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised. You're gonna search for ping pong groups and stuff like that on like these meetup places. There's an app called Meetup where you could find stuff that you're interested in, and then you'd be surprised. You join a group, you go over there, and you're surprised, like, oh my god, there's a lot of Muslims in this group.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, whatever you're interested in, check it out.
Check it out. Yeah. Utilize some of your resources. Facebook. Well, I know in the States we have an app called Meetup where a lot of these groups advertise that, hey, we're playing soccer in this field every week, every other weeknight.
Have you tried indoor soccer?
No. I'd
Oh,
love to try it.
you gotta try it. It's so fun. Indoor soccer is probably one of the funnest things I've ever done.
No, it's not big here in the US, so you can't find a lot of this. But I'm sure if you're listening in other countries, this is something you can hopefully find in your area.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Sports is good, 100%. Get into that sports.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this is all what we got for you guys today. If there's a hobby that you guys think that we should add to the next episode. We talk about hobbies. Let us know in the comments. Send us an email, podcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, if you're on YouTube, click subscribe, like, view, share, all that great stuff. If you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, wherever that you get your podcast, share us to your friends. Get the word out there. If you like our content, the best thing that you could do is let other people know about our content. For sure. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Until next time.
Assalamu alaikum.